we don't miss anything. So this is what we're going to talk about today, team. Let me turn up the volume because someone might be saying something, and I haven't been able to hear anyone. This happened on another group chat. Someone was talking for like 3 minutes. I don't know who it was. I'm like, man, something's wrong with your speaker. And everyone else was like, well, I can hear him. So then I realized I had forgot to turn up the volume. And yes, there was a user error. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about today. Deb, good to see you here. Sam, Superman, RJ. RJ's here for a purpose. Paul, Mohammed, Mike, Kevin, Justin, David, Kennedy, Brenda, Arthur, and it says me, the host. Good to see you guys here. This is what we're going to talk about today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is we are going to talk about the gift cards from Apple. Because this is like they're giving away free money. And apparently, you can have a bad ESN phone or a super bad bad ESN phone, as Mr. RJ likes to call it. And you can take it to Apple. So you could sell it to a wholesaler for like $200, $250. Or you could take it to Apple and get like $400 gift card. And then you could turn around and sell that $400 gift card to, it looks like, Atlas or Zillow. They're paying 88%. So it looks like you could make substantially more money with this. You know, I'm all about, you know, not going down the rabbit hole too much if it's not going to make us money. So, like, I'll like to, now, some of you guys are going to say, Aaron, like Brenda, she might call me out. I used to not like to unlock phones from AT&T. You remember that, Brenda? Okay. I made a mistake. Apparently, that's free money with that. Jesus has been around for a little bit, so he might remember that as well. I love AT&T Unlock because it takes 2 seconds. It's free, and the last phone I unlocked, I'm getting like $170 more. So if we can find little loopholes that don't take too much time, I'm all about that now. Before I wasn't. Now I'm all about it because it's free money. The reason I haven't tried Sprint yet is because I've heard with Sprint, you got to go to the store or you got to call them, and there was a whole thing. Now there might be a new website that you can use. I forget. I have it saved somewhere for Sprint. It's like Sprint. I haven't really come across any Sprint phones, to be honest with you. But it's like a Ting or something like that. But so if you find something with Sprint or other ones, we'll try that out as well. But it sounds like what's nice about the gift cards is you can get another $50, $100 potentially per phone that you get. So, you know, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I could drive to Apple or mail it to Apple, even if I've got to drive to Apple, 20 minutes there, maybe 20, 30 minutes wait, 20, 30 minutes drive home. But if I could bring them a few phones and then get an extra $100, $150, just sell it to Atlas, sell it to the Zelle phone guy, it sounds like it's worth it. So what we're going to have to do is have Mr. RJ come on. And what I did is, you know, I always like to give credit where credit's due. I think Remy came on he made a post a couple weeks ago that he was doing it. Then we saw RJ doing it. And Jeremy Watson that's in the group is doing it too. So it sounds like it's extra money. So we're going to have RJ come on, kind of share with us a little bit about how the process works. We're going to ask RJ questions like, do they pay more for different gigabytes? Do they pay more if it's sub-unlocked? What are some things we need to know when we do it? How does it work? Does it work pretty much every time? Is there any red flags? Like, can I get a wheelbarrow and wheelbarrow in 30 phones? Or do they think that's kind of suspicious, right? So kind of just tips and pointers. And then, of course, we'll throw anyone that wants to ask RJ questions. We can kind of ask RJ questions. That way, anyone here that's thinking about doing this has kind of a framework to go off of and kind of has the big picture overview, and you can make a decision if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it. Then what we're going to talk about next is we're going to talk a little bit more about pawn shops and cell phone stores. I got a new cell phone store I'm working with. I haven't done a deal yet, but we're getting really close. And we're going to talk about the relationships with it. When you're, you know, a customer that hits you up on OfferUp or wherever, and you do a 5-minute transaction, that's different than building a long-term relationship with someone for a few months or a year or two. And there's also different dynamics because some of these guys, when you walk in, they're going to be totally happy you walked in. Some of these guys, though, are going to have like a previous person that they're dealing with that they built a relationship with them. So like think about just the wholesaler you've been selling to. Maybe you've been selling to Atlas or Zellphone or someone else for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And after a while, don't you kind of build kind of an affinity, you build kind of a relationship with them, right? There's some trust there. If you're doing wires or if you're doing PayPal, you're going to send them the stuff. They're going to send you the money. They don't do any funny business. And sometimes you build relationships with these guys. I've had wholesalers where I'll sometimes get they'll give me a little bit more money. They'll put me on a special price sheet because I'm sending them a bunch of, they're paying me like $5 or $10 more a phone. But I still like $5 or $10 more, and I'm sending to them anyway. So you kind of start to develop a relationship. So imagine that some of these people you walk into that you're going to talk to, they've had someone they've been dealing with for 6 months or a year or a few years. So to get them to start selling to you, you know, it's not just about the price. They have kind of a relationship, and there's good energy between them. So you're trying to say, hey, break up from this person and come over here with me. And there's things we need to be aware of and thoughts that we need to have and kind of a process we need to follow. So we'll talk about that as well. That doesn't happen with everyone. I think it was Remy. I mean, we got so many people that are starting to hit up these stores now. But I think it was Remy that was talking about, he walked into an AT&T store, and the first AT&T store, the manager said, oh, we just throw some phones away. So it doesn't happen with all of it. But if you get someone that's been selling to someone for 5 years, I want you to know kind of the process to kind of slowly start to ease them and take them from this person and put them into your thing. What I want to do is I want to be like a pyramid, okay? Does anyone here ever work for, and after this, we're going to get into it because I'm sure we're ready to get started with this. But you ever work for a company and it's like the person at the top is making all the money? So the business owner is making all the money. It's kind of like a pyramid. You know, it's a nice little pyramid, but it's a good scheme. You know, it's whatever. So the person at the top, maybe the owner or the CEO is making all the money. Maybe they're working 5-10 hours a week. Maybe you never even see them. And then you have the next people, and then you have you, which were you were the employee. You were there grinding away, and you were probably getting paid the least amount, but you were doing the most work. A lot of the stores that sell to me, they don't make as much money as me. Not all the time, but it's very common that some of these stores or other people, they will do a lot of the work, and they'll make $40-50, and they'll sell me the phone. And sometimes I only make $50, but sometimes I make $100-150. And that's okay. It's okay if you have a team of people out there that's doing the majority of the work and they're grinding, they're negotiating. Some of them even put up ads. They're doing all the hard labor, and they come to you and you make more money than them. That's okay. And it's not going to happen like that all the time, right? And sometimes you have different partnerships or different relationships with different people where you make, you know, you might make a little bit less. But, you know, with these stores, it's okay if that happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to have RJ come on, and he's going to kind of give us a breakdown of these gift cards and his experience. And then we're going to go from there. RJ, are you here?
I'm here. What's going on, man?
What's going on? So I guess, RJ, give us kind of did we freeze already? I know it's not my internet. RJ didn't freeze. I froze. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Cool.
Can you
Yes,
hear me
sir.
now? Okay. Good.
So.
Good. All right. So where you want me to start with just a small little brief introduction and breakdown on kind of what I've been doing a little bit here, and then I guess we'll take questions, right?
Yeah. Tell us a little bit too about how you discovered this, how you figured it out, and then kind of what you tried, what works, and kind of what you'd share with someone that wants to try it out.
Yeah, so I mean, credit to Remy and a couple of the other guys earlier, I think in October. To be honest, before I left my job at Apple in September, I only sold on eBay. I never did it, so eBay was my platform. But my eBay account got restricted about 3 weeks after I left my job, so that changed things. I had to start looking into direct buyers, but I still had no idea that direct buyers were purchasing gift cards, Apple Store gift cards at a certain percentage. So I literally found this out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Whenever Remy posted something in our group that it was possible. I don't know if it was Remy or it was somebody around there that gave the idea. So I looked into it, and then what I realized was, oh my goodness, this is I knew right off on the other side. So as far as being an Apple Store specialist, I was there for 7 years before I left my job 2 months ago. So as far as the trade-in, as far as individual performance for specialists and also what managers are looking for, I know all of that. So that's why when I saw this as a huge opportunity to be able to make a lot more profit on a lot of these different model phones in comparison to selling them to directs or eBay. So, you know, to take it off the top, what I realized is first and foremost is bad ESN phones. Nobody has anything to be worried about with bad ESN phones, and even super bad ESN phones, as we call it. What I mean by that is if you get a phone, you buy it, and it does come up reported stolen or something like that from Sprint or T-Mobile or wherever it is, it doesn't matter. The only reason why the internal systems are utilizing the IMEI is just to pull up the actual type of iPhone it is. The systems do not have any access to carrier information whatsoever. They don't care about it. They don't give a crap about it. It doesn't even come up in any of the questions on trade-in for them. So it doesn't matter how bad your ESN is. It will be accepted as long as the physical condition is good. A couple of other things that I've noticed, I wrote these down. We talked about it in the video yesterday that you guys saw. MDM locks or mobile device management locks. Some of the phones that you guys will run across that when you try and go through the setup process that shows remote management, or essentially it's requiring a profile login. That's because a business gave an employee a phone that has a restricted profile on it. So most of you guys know what I'm talking about with that. That is also something that you'll see on SICW will come up sometimes, but that is also something that does not come up in Apple's system for trade-in. So you don't need to worry about MDM locks. As a matter of fact, even on Samsung phones as well, you can trade those in. You're not going to get as much value from Samsung phones, but I actually had two Note 5s that I bought for $5 each, both Sprint Bad ESN, both were Google locked. The Apple system, when you're going through the Samsung trade-in, does not give a shit about Google locks either. So you can turn in Samsung phones that are Google locked. They don't do any of that. So just to let you guys know, there's a couple of things to realize when you guys are going in. The specialists, when I'm there as a specialist, we are not graded on trade-ins. Trade-ins are really at the lowest end of things that we do at the store. We're graded on the amount of revenue that we're selling, so selling new product, but also adding on services like Apple Care and iCloud and a bunch of different services that you pay monthly are. So when it comes down to say they get something, they have an MDM locked phone and they process an MDM locked phone in the trade-in. And we give that phone to a company called Brightstar. That's the company that's buying all of these phones on trade-in from Apple. Brightstar will send the store basically a graded sheet of like basically returns. You know how direct buyers, you send a phone and you say it's B grade, B and C grade because or something like that. Right. Thing for all of the store, they don't know what those numbers are and they don't care. Apple doesn't care. They're making too much money with all of this to worry about mistakes on trade-ins. The only thing that you can't get in the habit of doing if you're a specialist is having egregious errors, meaning obviously a shattered screen, you're giving somebody full value for it as far as they're concerned. If you keep doing like those consistently, somebody will have a talk with you. But in my 7 years that I've been there, I have put plenty of little small chips, little phones through that I've not checked anything on, just getting through the system because we have too many people in line. And literally, I've not been talked to one time in my Apple career about, hey, you let this phone with a bad Face ID or a bad Touch ID through. No, they don't worry about that. They don't care about that. It is literally, it is so outside of the scope of what they care about there at the stores when it comes to their bottom line and their performance. See, the Apple Store, they're not graded on that. For his customer back through MP and total sale that and another way for them to keep getting people to buy more phones is to give Apple Store gift cards and allow trade-ins, which is why they do it. And also too, when you guys saw in the video yesterday that I was talking about kind of what the important steps to take when you go into the store, it's very simple. When you guys go into the store, there's a couple of rules when you guys are in there. First one is, step number one is you need to make sure that you guys are going and you guys have the phone at the setup screen. Completely factory reset the phone. Reason being, when the specialists are getting trade-in phones, especially a couple of phones, they have to give those phones to our back of house or our operations team, and all that they care about is they just want the phone reset. So a lot of specialists will not reset the phone for the customers, leaving that up to the back of house specialists, so they get pissed off. So when you guys come in and you guys have your phones already factory reset, you're helping the specialist out. They're making their life easier, which is going to make your life easier. But guess what it also is going to do? They're not going to go through the setup process. It takes way too much time, and they do this every day. Remember, they're processing trade-ins for people that are coming in to buy phones daily. So I was literally, when I was working there, I literally would have people trading in phones. I would do 20 to 30 a day. Do you think that every single person, I'm sitting there taking the phone through the setup process and like scanning my face to check Face ID and going through the Touch ID? No, we're not doing any of that shit. They don't give a shit about any of that. It is in the system to check Face ID, to like check it off, but it doesn't matter. When it's on the very front screen, like you guys are seeing right here, right? When you have it set on that screen, and make sure you hit the little I at the bottom, that it has the IMEI and the IMEID ready for them to go. They're not going to go past that screen. They're not going to turn it on to Wi-Fi. They're going to scan that thing and make sure that the physical condition is good and that the buttons work on the side. And they're going to give you your gift card. They're trying to get you out of the way. So that's why for me, when I'm talking to you guys about a couple of the pitfalls, really there's only one pitfall or two pitfalls. That's not having it set up on the right screen. But also number two is, do not bring fucking 10 devices into the store, 20 devices, again, what you were talking about, the bucket load of devices in, okay? Because you're going to go into these stores where we're sitting there, we got a queue of 20 people waiting to be helped, and then one of our specialists has to sit there for a half an hour, 45 minutes pumping out gift cards for somebody. Yes, that's where you're going to start getting the attention of the managers and all of us, because we don't want to do that. That's not what we want to do on the other side. We want to get you guys in and out and start selling phones. So that's when they're going to start looking at all the phones individually, start testing things out, and basically trying to make your life a living hell if you're coming in every week with 10 to 20 phones and making it hard on them and pulling the specialists out. That's where you're going to start getting into people actually looking into what you're doing.
Awesome. Makes complete sense. Okay, and they don't pay more for more gigabytes, right? Same?
No, they do not. It's real straightforward. You're not getting more for more gigabytes. So if you guys have like a 256 gigabyte or a 512 or something like that, you'll have to do the math on your own as far as, you know, what that calculation is going to be. But whatever the model is, as far as the gift card that you see on the trade-in website for whatever the device is, X or XS Max, is going to be it for any gigabyte.
Understood. And then once you get the gift card, what are you doing with the gift cards?
So what I actually, and this is how beautiful it is. Look, you can be an idiot and still make money in this business, because that's what I am. I made a video yesterday of telling you guys that Atlas paid 88% and Zellphone matched 88%. Well, Andy Zimmerman sent me a message saying, hey, Zellphone's price sheet right on the used phone section says they're paying 90% for Apple Store gift cards. And I went and looked, and sure enough, he's right. So Zellphone takes these gift cards and they pay you right away. I did it last week at 88%. He didn't tell me that, so I'm gonna put them in for 90% this week. But all you do is you take the gift cards. I'm doing my invoice right now for all of my gift cards for this week, and I'm gonna go and what you just put them on the invoice with the last four of the gift card number, and you put at 90%. You do the math and put it on your invoice, and he's gonna pay you out on it right then and there. And here's the beautiful thing about it: you don't need to worry about your fucking ESNs going bad or something stupid happening. There's no returns when you're giving it to the Apple Store. You don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to worry about your private buyer grading the phone out on heavy scratches or anything like that. It's just you get fucking paid. That's it. So
that's fantastic. What are your thoughts on mail-ins, and can you do a bunch of them, and any input on that?
Yeah, so the mail-in process, so just you have to understand this on the mail-in process, is on the mail-in process when you guys are sending these phones to Apple, that is where you're getting somebody on the other end that their full-time job is going through these phones and doing a full inspection. So when I talk about things like MDM locks or bad Face ID, bad Touch ID, if you're mailing in phones like that, yes, there's going to be a very high percentage that you mail it in and they send you a message or an email back saying, hey, we can't give you the full value because of X, Y, or Z. Do you want your phone back or a gift card at a super reduced amount, which you're not going to want? So just be careful with that. Bad ESN, don't worry about that. Mail them in all day long. If that's all it is just a bad ESN phone, send it to mail. You're going to get the full value for it. You're all good to go. But if you do have any of the other things we're talking about, like a MDM lock or bad Face ID, Touch ID, you're going to run into issues with that on the mail-in side. Just letting you know. Even super bad mail-in, yes, and even super bad mail-in, you'll be good to go. But with that being said, I have not tested out the mail-in process as a customer myself. So that is something that Travis actually said that he has done. I'm going to go through that process next week. I'm going to try the mail-in process, and I'm going to do some things like an MDM lock phone and just see what happens for you guys. So if I do run into something that is an issue, I will obviously put that in the group and let you guys know, but I'm still kind of exploring the rest of the mail-in process. The mail-in, if you want to do 5 to 10 mail-ins, you can do that. You can do it bulk mail-in. That's not going to really matter. It's just you're going to be under strict rules for some of these little things that may be overlooked in the store by the specialist.
That's great information. So I guess any other questions you guys got? I thought we tried to cover everything. Yep, Superface is a big deal.
Also, iPhone 7 no service issue. Don't worry about anything as far as service. So if it's reading no SIM, if a phone is reading no SIM at all, or it says no service, send it in. It's going. You're going to get full value for that.
Cool. Mohammed says, can I buy a bad Face ID off eBay and then go trade it into the store without an issue?
Yeah. So when we talk about that, right? Well, yeah, right. So all right, on bad Face ID. So I did all of these yesterday. All of these gift cards I went and traded in yesterday. And I followed the process of having the phone at the front screen with the IMEI. Not one of these phones, not one of these specialists from either one of the 4 stores that I went to, not one of them went through the setup process and checked for Face ID. Not one. So just letting you know that, am I guaranteeing that somebody that you might get, somebody's first week on the job that tries to follow every rule and go through it? Yeah, you may run into that every once in a while, but let's put it this way. Just grab the phone, go to another store or try back on a different day. You'll get the bad Face ID and the bad Touch IDs to go through.
Cool. And you also might be taking a risk with it, right? We don't know how long this will be open for. If 6 months goes by and they say, maybe they got a tally that, we had 10,000 trade-ins of bad Face IDs, then they might start checking it. But they also might not. So it's kind of risk and reward. But with that said, I think it'd be fine doing it. I was looking on eBay yesterday myself for just regular bad ESN ones because I'm like, shit, if I could buy a bad ESN X on eBay for $300, take it to buy a couple of them, take it to the store, get $400 gift card.
I know. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts, right? As of right now, the hot thing to do is trade in your fucking phone to Apple, especially your bad ESN phones. I just saw a message. Cracked. This is the one weird thing about Apple. I'll never understand it. Crackbacks are zero value. If you have a little chip on the back of your phone, Apple gives zero value. It's considered a full unit replacement at the Genius Bar 2, so you're paying full out of warranty. Just, I don't understand why they do this with their crackbacks, but you're getting no value on the trade-in. So the one thing that you will get away with, though, you guys will get away with little chips on the corner of the front screen or anything like that. They look over that. The only thing you can't have on the front screen as far as a crack is literally like a pressure point. There can't be a point of impact on the front screen or a real big crack across the screen. But little chips on the corner, on the sides are going to be accepted.
Brenda says, what about iCloud lock?
No. So iCloud log is the only thing that our system does check. It won't allow us to move forward in the trade-in process without the iCloud fully signed out.
Got a question for you, RJ. So I was talking to Jeremy Watson that's in the Facebook group too, and he said what he's done with a couple of them is if the price works out right, he'll trade it in the phone. Instead of getting the gift card, he'll choose the option to upgrade and use it for a phone because he gets a little bit more. He'll pay the difference in the sales tax, and then he'll get like a sealed, clean IMEI, fully unlocked phone, and sometimes even paying a little bit extra, it might be worth it because you might be able to get another 30, 40, 50 bucks from the direct buyer, and you could potentially even sell it on eBay because it's a sealed, fucking unlocked, guaranteed clean IMEI phone.
Correct. So yeah, so when you're doing that, that's something that I've looked into too. Like Tyson Bohanna is in Oregon right now, and Oregon has no sales tax. So I was asking him in Oregon, like, would it be worth it to go? Because when you on Apple's trade-in website, when you Google Apple trade-in, when you go to their website, there's two sets of trade-in values. There is one for what you're talking about, to where you're actually going to buy a phone that day, which is usually a couple dollars more, like $50 more as far as the trade-in credit. But if you're trading in for a gift card only, you have to scroll down to the bottom and actually pick smartphone and go through the little process to find out what the exact model is. Like, for example, iPhone 7, if you're upgrading to a phone that day, it's $150, but if you're just getting a gift card, it's $120. So just little things like that you guys need to be aware of. But yes, do the math on it. Especially if you're in a state like Oregon with no sales tax and you got direct buyers buying sealed unlocked phones at a certain price, it may be better to go off that way. I haven't seen the benefit in that in my situation yet with the tax. It's kind of broken even. It's like the same. So it's just easier for me to do it this way. But everybody's situation is different where they live and what they're paying and what they're doing with their direct buyers. So if you guys find out another loophole, please let me know. This has been absolutely great.
Nice. Jesus, that is absolutely not what we're saying. Because the bad Touch ID, the bad Face ID, all those little things, the MDM locks, they're supposed to check it. So what RJ's saying is normally they don't check it. But I would, if you go on there and you buy one, you take a risk that once you get it, the person you take it to is going to be strict with it, or maybe they do an update. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't do one for a year. Maybe they'll never do one. But that's a little bit of a gamble. So you need to evaluate yourself. Is it worth trying to do that or not? And I'm not saying I'm not saying it is either. You just got to figure it out for yourself.
And also too, listen, the reason, here's what, don't put yourself, don't sit there and go buy 20 MDM lock phones and go to the same store and start running bad Face IDs. Yeah, you want to put yourself on the radar? You can put yourself on the radar if you want to by going and running and purposely buying Face IDs and Touch IDs and MDM logs and then going to the same stores and keep running. Yeah, eventually it'll probably take a couple of months, but somebody will catch on and you'll be there. So just don't be stupid, I guess is my only suggestion on that. But if you guys have any questions on it, please let me know. I'm more than willing to help out with it.
How often will you go to the same store a week, the same Apple store?
So for me, I have 4 Apple stores here in Las Vegas that are all within 20 drive. I know that everybody doesn't have that same scenario. So for me, I went to all 4 yesterday and I took 3 phones into each store. And had all 12 or whatever phones done within I'd say about a 2 to 3 hour window with drive time. I was just cruising around. But it's for me, I have the luxury. I'm going to go in weekly to all 4 stores with probably the same amount is going to be my thing. If you only have 1 store in the area, you can take up to 5 phones, I would say. If you guys have 6 or maybe 7, but you start getting up into the 10 range, that's where people are going to start asking questions. So. And I saw somebody ask if you need an appointment. You do not need an appointment for trade-in because trade-in is handled by sales specialists. The only thing you need an appointment for is Genius Bar appointments for service and repairs, which, by the way, I had a Sprint 10S Max cracked screen, bought it for $200 yesterday. I went, it had Apple Care Plus on it, so I paid $29 to have it fixed, and then traded it in for a $550 gift card. So instead of 125 profit, it's a 240 profit.
That is some funny shit. That's being smart right there.
Yeah. So it's unbelievable. All those MDM lock phones, I got it from a guy that he had no use for them. So I'm buying 7Plus's MDM lock for $10, and I traded in for a $200 gift card. So you're talking about over $160 of profit on all of them. It's just like, you guys now know that these opportunities are out there right now. And I would sit there and I would quote out Sprint Bad ESN iPhone 6. You can get that thing for $5-10. Go trade it in for $60 to the Apple store and call it a day. It's out there for anybody on any type of level in this business to be able to make profit going through the Apple store.
It's funny. When these loopholes come out, you can run with it. One of these stores that sells me phones, I think the person's been in business like 10 years. So he said like when the iPhone 6, I think, came out, there was a thing where they got bent. It was like a 6 or 6 Plus or 7. One of these, it was one of those where it got bent or something didn't work. So what you could do is you could take it, as long as there is an issue with it, you could take it to Apple and trade it in, and they'd give you like a brand new one. So it'd be like Pro Max with like not working. Right. So what he would do is he would buy these up, and he'd buy them from other shops. And he said one of the things he would do, you guys might find this funny, is the phone had to have an issue. But if it was water damage, they would still take it in because they'd say, maybe it was an issue with something. So what he would do, and this is kind of, it's whatever. He would open up the phone because he repairs this shit. He would open up the phone. He would take out the white thing and put a red thing in that made it look water damaged. Then he'd put it back up and he would take it in, and he said it would still work. He said he was making with all these little loopholes, he's making like 15 grand a week in profit with it.
Yeah. There's one last thing I had on my note sheet, just so you guys are aware. Aftermarket screens. So when you guys are coming in, some aftermarket screens when they're on the phone that look pretty good and will get by, and then there's other shitty aftermarket screens that look bad and you can feel the difference. So if you guys buy phones and you notice like a real big difference on an aftermarket screen, you can try and take it in. I had one today that I traded in at Apple that had an aftermarket screen, and the specialist didn't care. But even like some of them, even I felt a couple of screens that were like so badly put on that obviously I couldn't accept it as a trade-in. So just be aware of that on some of those aftermarket screens, because if they do notice that, they will not allow it. But I bet you if you had a couple Apple stores in the area, you take that aftermarket screen and you went to all the stores, eventually it'll get accepted. So that's it. That's all I got. That's all my notes have. I have nothing left.
No, I think it's fantastic. Helped us out, gave us a big picture overview and stuff to look for. All right. Any last minute questions for Mr. RJ? That's great. RJ worked at Apple, so he kind of gives us insight. That's real valuable when you can see how the employees think, and you can do things that make them happy because they're more likely to keep it moving through. That's very powerful insight. Cool. All right, RJ. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. No problems. Go make that money. Free monies.
Free money, baby. That's right. Free monies.
All right, I'm going to mute it.
All right, sounds good. Was that helpful to you guys, having RJ come on and kind of explain all that? And also kind of getting the inside of what happens from inside? Mohammed says, thanks, RJ. Big thanks. Operation Apple is on. MDF lock, what's that mean? It just means like it's you can he talked about it earlier. You could just look it up. It's like if it's like kind of Google lock or password lock on a Samsung. I just watched the replay though because he explained that earlier, probably a little bit more clearly than what I just said. Arthur says, "Yep, RJ sure was." Ray says Jeff. Okay, cool. Well, I guess I explained it all right then. All right, so let's talk about. Oh, we got to talk about these stores. All right, let's talk business. Who here has started hitting up stores since Monday? I need to know who. All right, Ulysses. We have anyone else? I know we had a big thing. Let's see. I remember Brenda said she was going to hit up, I think, 10 stores. Who else said? Who else? I know Tom said, but then fucking I saw Tom hit up like 5 stores the next day. Kennedy, I know, has hit up stores. All right. Mohammed says, not me being honest. Well, I appreciate the honesty, but we're going to get that going. Me, Verizon, corporate. Anyone else? You guys all told me you were going to hit up stores. Everyone said they were going to hit up stores. My computer was blowing up. That's what people were saying. Guys, stores is the easiest thing in the world. You guys have no idea what it's like to wake up and have all these managers hitting you up and employees and all these things, and it's just money. I mean, it's just free money. I picked up a phone earlier today from a store, $50 profit. Yesterday I picked up, no, I guess it was the day before, I picked up 4 phones, about $230 in profit. I got a store right now, and these are different stores. These are all different. I got a store right now. I'm working on a 6-phone deal. Got another store said 25 phones, but we'll see about that. Guys, this is the easiest money you'll ever make. Let's not forget the fact if I had to guess, I've made at least $30,000 in profit so far this year just from stores, just from a combination of stores. You got the pawn shop, you got gas stations that you wouldn't think buy stores, little stores in little weird areas, actual physical stores, managers of different stores. The average person makes $33,000 a year. You have the ability to make that pretty much residually by getting a bunch of stores, just having people hit you up, and you just sit there and send out messages. Like when I got up this morning, I've sent out 1, 2, 3 different stores so far today. Okay, and sometimes they don't hit me up every day. Sometimes it's this thing. Sometimes someone's get a little thing. But, I mean, would you guys not like that? And they just negotiate for you on your back. Oh, yeah, gas stations. Gas stations. There's this gas station in Illinois. It's like owned by an individual. And the first time I met up with him, sold me like $6.5 grand worth of phones. Made about $50 to $100 per phone. So, you know, I made like $1 grand there. So, you know. And this was when I was selling to like a buyer that wasn't even paying as good as prices as like some of these guys we have now. So it was very good. It was very good. And says, Shiloh, it might have been. It's in Illinois. He's a foreign gentleman. It's not like a big gas station. It's kind of a smaller one. It was great. I mean, it was great. It was great. And this happens all the time. So let's talk about a couple things. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what I did and how I'm getting real close to working with this new store. So I went into what store was it? I just see stores now whenever I'm driving around. It was like a normal cell phone store. And I walked in there and I said the same thing. Hey, I was wondering if you guys buy used, if people have phones, if you guys buy them, like give them cash for it. And he goes, no, we actually don't do that. It's against like corporate policy or whatever. I said, hey, no worries. I understand. The reason I ask is I buy phones for a living, and I kind of specialize in buying like sealed phones or new phones or sometimes phones where people stop making the payments on those. So you guys ever get anyone that ever comes in or tries to sell them or they go, no, we can't do that. But they gave me a referral of a local cell phone place down the street. They told me the name of it. I got all excited, so I didn't remember the name of it. But I drove down in the direction they told it was me, and I just typed in my cell phone store. And the first one, it was like an off-brand one pulled up. So I rolled right on up to the front, walked in, and I knew it was going to be a winner because it said like screen repair, we sell phones, we buy phones. So when it says we buy phones right on the door, I know it's about to be a winner. So I want to give you guys the breakdown of what happened. I want to share with you guys the exact words that I said. I want to show you the text that I sent so you see how you can build this relationship for yourself. Because this is different, right? When you go from buying from an individual and someone is going to respond to your lead on Craigslist, Sally from down the street, she's going to sell you a phone that's that. That's my boy. Oh, that's my boy. So, woo! I'm going to try not to get excited like I did on Monday's night group chat. You guys saw me. Woo! Okay. Okay. So if you're buying from some of these stores, some of these people have ego. Some of these people are kind of proud. So I'll give you an example. Whenever I'm texting a new wholesaler, sometimes I reference David Kosciuszko. I'm like, hey, my name's so-and-so, especially if they're kind of in the business, because David Kosciuszko is very big. My name's Aaron Goldstein. I was interested in selling you phones. I'm partnered up with David Kosciuszko. I use his last name in Next Level, in our program, Next Level Phone Flipping. And I just wanted to see if you had like a price sheet. So why do I say that? Because I want to let these guys know I got my shit together. I'm getting phones consistently. I'm also trying to see if I can get better prices. So I got the ego too. It's the same thing. I want to feel special, right? I want to let these guys know. Someone that has a store, they sometimes can kind of have that same kind of they can kind of have that kind of pride in them in themselves. So we want to acknowledge that. We want to reference that. We want to let them know about that. The other thing, like we talked about earlier, about 40 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago, is that some of these guys have people they've been selling to for a while. So to break up that relationship there can be a process for it. Imagine that there's like a girl, let's say that everyone here is a guy and everyone here is single, and there's a girl that we want to talk to. So that might eliminate 50 or 75% of the people here. But we're just going to pretend for a second. And we want to date the girl, but the girl for the last couple years has been kind of seeing this guy on and off. She kind of likes him. She kind of doesn't. There's some things she does, but she's comfortable with the guy. She's got a relationship with the guy. So if we want to get her to date us, sometimes it might work out right away. But sometimes we might have to kind of ease her into it, right? Maybe we're going to micro-step it. We're going to micro-step it from introduction all the way over to kind of getting the deal closed. Mr. Felding, good to see you here. And, of course, I see Mr. Anthony on here, too. Anthony, that's good to see you here. I use Anthony. I use you as an example. When you were telling me how you had the guy that was working at, like, Radio Shack or Cricket or somewhere that was getting you a bunch of phones, like, every week and selling them to you for, like, 9 months, and how they were all clean IMEI. So if I don't know, if you want to come on at the end of this group chat and kind of share with us that story, I think that'd be awesome. Radio Shack. So maybe I'll talk for like 10 more minutes, and then maybe Anthony, if you want to come on, I'd love to hear about the details of that and how that relationship was formed, and just kind of submit the example of another thing. But anyway, let's break this down real quick. So I walk into the store, and I didn't look that professional. I mean, I had flip-flops on, and it's cold outside, and it was, I should have dressed up a little bit more. And like, I had some other stuff that I didn't look like I had 2 pennies to my name, to be honest with you. It was not good at all. So, but it's okay. So I walked in, I said, hey, I see you buy phones. Do you buy, do you happen to buy like, like sealed phones or phones that aren't working? And he goes, yeah, what do you got? And I just picked up 4 phones from another store earlier that day, from one of my other repeat stores. So I said, well, I actually got 3 phones. I told him what they were. And I said, shit, if you can match the price, I'd be happy to sell them to you. So the conversation, guys, is not going in the direction we needed to go. So I need to get it back on track. But since it started going down this way, I know I'm going to have to take a couple steps back, but I'm eventually going to have to micro-step it forward. So he asked me what I was trying to get for it. And I knew the price that my guy's paying, so I told him the price. And he goes, he goes to his computer, and he hits a couple buttons. And I see him scrolling. So what's he doing here, guys? What's he doing? Because just like with customers, where we make a big picture overview, we're going to apply the same stuff that we go over for message negotiation. We're going to apply that with everything in sales. Anthony says he's on eBay. Absolutely. He might be on eBay. What else could he be doing? A direct buyer. Jesus says a direct buyer. Probably checking the price sheet. Now, I don't know because I can't see, but my guess is he's probably checking the price sheet because he did it, he scrolled, and then he stopped. I didn't see him doing a bunch of stuff. So it could have been either or. But we know one thing, it's something online. He's kind of got a system. He goes, hey, the most I could do is $450 on it, and I wanted $720. Now, what do I like so far about the interaction? What do I like so far about the interaction? Felden says back and forth. I do like that. What do I like about the fact that he gave me a price? By the way, all these little things that I'm sharing with you guys, I'm making little mental notes on, and I'm micro adjusting everything I do moving forward to eventually try to get the end result I'm trying to get. He's staying in the convo. Absolutely. He made me a counteroffer. That takes a little bit of investment, by the way. If he just said, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I can't do it, he would be starting to back out already, like some phone flippers I know that don't stay in the conversation. No one here does that, but some people in the beginning, they do that. I like the fact that he made me a counteroffer. You guys see that? Made me a counteroffer. I said, I said, yeah, I can't do that, man, unfortunately. But I understand you have a store, you got to make money, you got overhead. That's a line I like to use a lot. A lot of stores try to justify the price that they pay or they sell for something that they have an overhead. A lot of stores, and I'm not talking about cell phone stores, I'm talking about businesses in general, especially small businesses. For some reason, they don't like to say that I want to make money. They like to say that, I got overhead and I got employees and shit like that, and they use that to justify the price. A lot of club owners, when I would negotiate agreements with club owners, they would do that shit. So I'm kind of using that now as kind of letting him know that, I understand it's, you got overhead. I'm trying to speak in terms of his language. And then I said, let me ask you a question. I've seen your store. It's probably been around for a while. I see that you buy cell phones out in the front. The phones that you buy now, you mind if I ask what you do with them? Notice what did I say here, guys? There's something I said in the wording. What is it? I'm trying to get everyone here to pick up on this so you guys can do it yourself. So it's not just me teaching something. I want you guys to retain this information because I want all you guys to make a bunch of money. That's right. I'm using a soft phrase. What do you do with the phones you get now? A little bit too strong. You mind if I ask what you do with the phones that people sell you now? Soft phrases are more likely to get answers. He goes, we usually just sell them in here. We just sell them in the store. That makes complete sense. What do you do if you get one? Do you mind if I ask what you do if you get ones that are like, the IMEI goes bad or something like that? Again, I'm using soft phrases, and I'm aware when I'm saying it that it's a soft phrase and it's the correct thing to say to start to move it in the direction I want to move it into. He goes, well, we use it for parts. Is he telling me the truth or is he lying? We don't know. He might use it for parts. But I just saw him on the computer. Dude's he's using the same shit that we sometimes say. We know he's selling it to a direct buyer. I said, that totally makes sense. If I could, let me just ask you this. If I could potentially pay you a good amount for the phones, these, bad IMEI, Blacklight, the phones that you get that you use for parts, and I could pay you a good amount for it, would you consider potentially just selling them to me and getting cash instead of using them for parts? Well, actually, I have a person that I sell to already. No worries. And that makes complete sense. If I could pay more than the person you sell to, and of course, I'd be happy to come here. I'd have the full amount of cash. I'm not sure what you do with them, but I come here and make it a nice, smooth transaction. If I did all that, and if I was potentially able to pay more than what you get for the phones now from your current buyer, would you consider selling them to me? Yeah, I'd be open to that. So what's going on? We're moving him now with soft phrases, and we always lead by asking questions, whether it's through text messaging or whether you're communicating with the store owner. This was the store owner. Yeah, I'd be open to that. Let me get your number. All right, sounds good. I said, I told him, I said, I don't have any cards or anything because I've never had a business card. I said, but I'm happy to give it to you. And he takes my number and puts it in his phone. And that's what I want anyway. Of course, I tell my name, Aaron. I like it because 2 A's. I want him to see it every time he opens a phone. Every time he opens a phone. Aaron, my name is Zachary Zuckerberg. Okay, well, whatever. Okay. I don't know. Maybe you could make up a nickname if you want. I don't know. It doesn't matter at that point. He goes, he gets my number. He says, all right, we'll do business together. said, all right, sounds good. And then I shake his hand. And then he says, what do you pay for? And he asked me a certain phone. And I said, give me 1 sec. Let me check. I said, you know the phone. Sometimes these price changes. Sometimes they last for a couple weeks. Sometimes they change, every couple days. So I look at my phone and I make an offer. Okay? What do you pay for another phone, he says. I make him an offer. He sits there for a second. And I said, and, do you have the phones now? Because, if you got the phones now, we can make a deal right now. We could make the deal right now with cash. I'm about business. So, I put that in there because I wanted to let him know that I'm not here to mess around, right? If you got the phones, we can make some shit happen. He goes, I don't currently, but he goes, those are good prices. We'll do business. He goes, he said that like a couple times, I believe. He goes, I'll contact you. I'll be in touch. I said, all right, sounds good. I said, and I think, no, I didn't say this, but what I should have said was, sounds good. Just send, you got my number. And if you come across any other phones, send me a text. I'm happy to send you a quote on what I can pay for them. All right, cool. So he hits me up yesterday. Or no, he hits me up later that day. And he goes, hey, can you send me a price list? You came by my store today. So I made up a little price list of just some of the newer phones, which doesn't, I just did it for him. It doesn't matter because we know prices change all the time. I said, hey, sorry for the late reply. And of course, I sent him a little screenshot of some of the prices. I says, unfortunately, I don't have a full price sheet of everything because the prices sometimes change, but that's the general ones with the most popular items. And of course, if you need a quote on anything specific, just let me know. He goes, you match? I said, I try, especially because I'm sure you get phones often and I want to do business with you. Why did I say that? He goes, you match. He's asking if I match prices. Why did I say I try, especially because I'm sure you get phones often and I want to do business with you? That was not put in there by accident. Everything I do is strategic. Because if I just let stuff happen, I don't make any money, I don't go on dates, and nothing else happens. Yep, keep the relationship moving forward, set the tone, and I'm showing intent. So Anthony's 100% right. I'm keeping the relationship moving, I'm setting the tone, and just letting people know that you want to do business with them is very powerful. It just shows that you're interested. So I make a conscious effort anytime I'm meeting a new store owner where something's developing to say that, okay? That's very, 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 very powerful. I'm giving him what we talked about I'm giving him cheese, right? No whiskers, all cheese. I'm, giving him fair prices. I'm letting him know I try. I'm not saying, man, those prices I gave you are kind of as high as I could go. I didn't say that. I said, I try. I want to do business with you. Then I said, have anything specific in mind because I'm leading by asking a question, moving it forward. He goes, I'll let you know tomorrow. I said, sounds good. Just let me know. The next day comes around. He said he was going to hit me up around 12 or 1. 3 o'clock rolls around. I said, hey, what's up? Just wanted to see if those phones came in yet. I didn't get a response right away. Now, why was it important that I hit him up? It was important that I hit him up because this is a long-term relationship, right? I was waiting for him to hit me up. He said around 12 or 1, but it was a couple hours later. I wanted him to know that I was serious about this. So I sent him a text. Was I a little nervous to send a text? Of course. Was I nervous to walk into the store? Of course. I'm nervous when pretty much I do anything. I just do it anyway because that's what I need to do to get the shit that I want. He doesn't respond to me yesterday. I was going to wait a few days and then hit him up again and then kind of put him on a thing where every couple of weeks, every 10 days, I'd be checking up on him. That'd be the thing, right? Because again, once you lock down one of these guys, I had a store I was working on for probably 6 months. But he's been selling to me, and this guy gives me phones, maybe 3 to 6 phones a week, right? And I have a handful of people like this now. So I'm okay building a long-term relationship. Wake up today, he says, call me, bud, and he wanted prices on a couple things. So we're starting to move it forward. We haven't closed any deals yet, but I called him. He wanted prices, but he told me to call him. And I called him. So you guys see what's going on now? You guys see what happened? A couple days ago, I used this shit for parts. I'm not really interested. 2, I actually got someone I sell to now. 2, we're now moving it forward to where now we're in communication, right? And we're getting to the point where we start doing business. You guys kind of see that? Very, very, very powerful. Everything was micro-stepped correctly. I'm very, very aware of all the small details in the interaction and the words I'm going to say and actions I'm going to take to, and maybe the silence I'm going to provide to kind of follow up and move forward, right? So that's how that works. Anthony says he wants to hear him about his business. Yes, sending that message is important. It's very important to send that message. That lets them know that I'm following up with them. You ever met someone where they tell you something and they're like, man, I'm going to do all this shit, and then you don't hear from them, like they talk a big game, they don't do anything? When you follow up with these people, it shows them that you're not like that person. You're serious. You're a man of your word. You're not going to hit them up all the time. But if I didn't hear from them today, I would have probably hit them up on Monday. And then I would have just kind of touched base with them. And my goal would be to get a bunch of people, because you kind of start to wear these people down. It's very, very important. Cool. So that's right. That's right. Belden says you're serious. That's absolutely right. So you guys see how that happened? I went into the store, and we got off kind of on the wrong area, and then by leading by asking questions, by using soft phrases, would you consider, I'm now at the point where me and him are starting to communicate. If I can get this guy locked down, this could be another stream. And I can already tell this guy probably gets a few phones a week, right? A few phones a week at $50, sometimes higher, 50. Well, you guys know one of the phones I sold today, or this week, I made $140 on, sold it on eBay. Nothing crazy. Bought it from a store, sold it on eBay for $140 in profit. No fancy to direct. I sold that shit on eBay. I sold a tablet on eBay this week that I bought from a store. It was just a used tablet. I made $60 profit. It wasn't like a Pro or a Max or anything like that. It was like, I think I paid like, I think $160 for it, and I made $60 in profit. Sold that shit on eBay. Okay, right? You guys have eBay, right? So I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm not saying you need thousands of dollars to do this shit. I'm saying, but you know, I'm paying $100, $200. Sometimes I'm paying more if it's, you guys see I got some of the sealed phones back there. But you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. All you need to do is get up off that seat, get up off that ass, go out there and shake some hands and introduce yourself. By the way, out of the last 5 stores I talked to, this was the only one that panned out. Some people didn't buy. Some people they couldn't. Some people might not have been interested. Would you guys say that I'm fairly good at selling and negotiating? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably above a 5, if not a whole lot more. So if I approach 5 stores and only got 1, it might be worth considering that it might be good for you to approach 30, 40, or 50 stores over the next few weeks. But even if you approach 50 stores and you only get 3 of them, but you get 3 stores hitting you up multiple times a week, selling you 1, 2 to 10 phones at a time, it's great. One of these guys that's been selling to me for at least 6 months, I mean, there was one time he brought me 10 Maxes, all sealed. I bought them, sent them to my direct buyer, $70 profit. I made $700 in profit from 1 flip. I mean, it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Belden says, was the script written yet? Or please tell me what group chats. So yes, if you look in the back office, just over the last like 6 or 8 group chats, there's little ones where I do kind of go over a general script. It's not like ironed out yet, like the 3 levels or 4 parts, but it's a general script on how to kind of start the convo and move it forward. So that could probably help you out as well. But you guys got to run the numbers here. Some of the people aren't going to buy it. One of the pawn shops I walked into, they said they can't buy it, right? It's not really a rejection. It's just like they can't buy it. You got to run the numbers. Anyway, I'm going to let Mr. Anthony come on here and share with us a little bit about what the Radio Shack guy, just because I think that'd be great, and then we'll head out. So I'm going to unmute. We're going to have Anthony come on. I'm going to actually, guys, I drink a lot of water, kombucha, a little bit of both. So I'm going to put the screen on Anthony, and I'm going to run over there to the bathroom real quick. But Anthony, it's all you, man. Give us that breakdown.
I pretty much watched the last group chat, and it was pretty much just like Aaron said it was. It was just a guy from Radio Shack. He found me one of my ads, and slowly, like he would just hit me up like, yo, I got this, and it just worked out, man. It's pretty much just like everything in this business really start from putting your ads out there, and from there, hell, you just end up meeting a lot of people if you get a lot of ads out, and that's really what it was. This dude hit me up. He was like, yeah, meet me at Radio Shack. He came out with Radio Shack t-shirt. So I was like, okay. But then, yeah, he used to, people would come in, he would quote them on whatever he was quoting them on, and then call me. And I pretty much just became his guy, so it was real easy. And it was, yeah, it was gravy, man, because he would hit me up. I was probably getting like 9 a week just from him alone. So it was all good. I see a question here. We do wear tank tops. This is my end of the day, watching football, watching group chat attire. And then Deb, are you doing paid ads? Is that question for me? Deb?
Man, I think so, man. Shoot.
I've done paid Craigslist ads. I have not done paid Facebook ads, but when you got so many out there and they just, I mean, they still keep coming in, I just keep doing what's been working for real.
The Radio Shack guy, how much money do you think you made with him over the course of your relationship, if you were to guess?
Woo! I'm trying to think back to my 1099 from that year. It was well over, if I had to guess, total profit was probably about 20 to 30, I would say, something like that. Because at the time, I still was going for $100 a phone. And then if he had like several, then I would just negotiate it down to where like, okay, cool. If you bring in me 8 and I make 6 off of those 8, that's solid. I can handle that. So hell, if real quick, I got a calculator right here. How about this? If I was getting about, we'll call it 8 a week times, let's even say 75, that's 600 a week times 5 weeks. So I was making 2,500 off of him a month, and that was times 9 months. Shit, 22,900. And that might be really shooting it low, because I mean, we would go negotiate and this and that or whatever. Like hell, it was times, man, I'd be on dates. He'd meet me at Froyo, pull 5 out his pocket, like. Right, meet me on Delmar, bro. Let's get some ice cream. Ice cream on me, cause he's a big dude. He's a comedian. He's a comedian. I'm kind of upset Radio Shack went out of business, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Guys, that's one connection. About 23,000 from one connection.
Pay off, man. Like one connection can pay off huge. As long as you're doing all the micro steps, the things ahead of it, they will come. Like that's just kind of how it was working. Like, and it's still working like that today. It worked like that, exactly like that today. Like hell, you can find people and they be here. People will bounce in, bounce out. As long as you consistent, you just find somebody else to be that'll be your new guy. Like
that's right. There's the 80-20 rule in business. So really what we're looking for, if I'm going to go hit up 50 shops, I know 50 shops are going to sell to me. If I hit up 50 shops, there might be a few, there might be, half a dozen that hit me up every now and then, but out of those 50, there's going to be like 1 or 2 or 3 that are going to be bringing you consistently, and these people could pay your bills. I mean, you could, in theory, probably run with these 3 people for 6 months or a year or more, and not even put up ads if you just wanted to cruise at like $1,000 a week and profit, if not more.
Straight up. Straight up. It's easy to sometimes just get lazy. Like, man, I got 4, so like, damn, okay, man, like. I woke up, did a couple deals. It's only 12:30. Like, what else? Massage Envy calling my name. I got 20 massages saved up. 20. 20. Every time I go in, the girl's like, tell him to make another appointment. I'm like, you know what I want to do next time? I want to go in, get a 90-minute, come out, and then go to another 90-minute. different therapists. Start with deep tissue and then move to relaxation. Exactly, Jeff. Grab a beer, bro. Grab a beer and celebrate. Toast to the good life.
Guys, these are the good problems I have. I want you guys to have these problems. I want you guys to have Anthony problems. Person won't do a 3-hour because our hands hurt. So Anthony will do one person for 90 minutes and do another masseuse for another 90
minutes. Sleep, wake me up, and then go get the other girl. Justin Lingham. Justin, you know about Lingham, don't you? I'll tell you about that, Aaron.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll tell you about Lingham. I see Justin laughing.
I just figured out what Tia was today, so that might take me a little bit.
I'm hip to that kombucha too. That's the good kind. Which one is that? Synergy?
Yeah, that's like my 3rd or 4th one today. Don't tell Brenda though. I got a little problem with this shit.
Kavita. Kavita brand. If you see that one, get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, man, it's nice. And sometimes you get those you get the stores, but sometimes you just get the customers. I had remember that one customer with the Google Pixel 2 XLs?
Bruh, yes I do.
Yeah, when I was just selling those myself. I was making $3,000 in profit every time we meet up. So we would meet up. He'd bring me a bag of them like this. And I was so nervous. It was the first time doing big deals. I took a picture of his driver's license. I still have it in my phone in case the cops came, in addition to building up. But it was like a thing like this, right? He'd have me meet him at all these different casinos. I'm like, I don't know what this dude's doing. I go and meet up with him, do it, and I'm walking out like this, $3,000. Because I was buying them for $225 and selling them for like $650. Bought 40 phones from him in like 2 weeks, and then he went away. I was like heartbroken a little bit because that was the first time I had a big supplier. I'm like, damn, am I gonna have to go back to grinding now? I thought it was always gonna be like this. I thought I flipped over to $10,000 a week profit doing 2 hours worth of work.
Yeah, that's a good spike, and that's just kind of how it go, man. Like you grind, and then you hit that one, and it's like they like, yo, I got some more. Okay, I got some more. Okay, cool. Come on. Bring them here. Bring them here. And it just works out, man. It works out good. That's all love.
Mm-hmm.
That other venture I told you about too, baby. Last time I saw you.
Oh, it's going good?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I've been relaxing.
Very nice, very nice. I got a couple. We'll talk.
I'm gonna chop it up with you.
All right, you been working on Anthony?
I off and on, man. Like
okay.
Off and on. Like I would go for like a week and then like kind of get a little lazy, then go for another week. But I did switch it up to where I just been lifting. Like I lift a lot heavier instead of I used to do volume reps, and now I go for like 8 to 10, sometimes 6 to 8 reps pyramid. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't know, man, how much I bench. I normally just do incline and then move to regular bench and leave it at that.
Okay, yeah, you're looking big, man. Your shoulders look pretty big. They look pretty fine.
I'm working on that, I'm about to get
big bags of phones up over your head. That's probably what it is.
Back out here and do some of that. I'm bumping to you at the club or something.
Oh, I've had some good success. I've been cleaning up at the club, dude. It's been good shit. Yeah, it's been really good the last couple of weeks. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and head out. Thanks for coming on, Anthony.
Right on, right on. I don't even know what BOS is.
I just saw a $sign with it. Sam says bill of sale.